Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Hare Krishna. Good
Hare
morning.
Krishna.
I pray everyone is healthy and happy on this Tuesday morning. And we are going to be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 17, entitled Maharaj Prithu Becomes Angry at the Earth. And today we're on text 14. Pravepamana dharani
Prave Pamanadharani
Nisham yoda yudham chatam
Nisham Yo Dai Udam Chatam
Gau satya padravadbita
Gau Sati Apa Dravat Vita
Mrigiva mrigayudruta
Mrigiva Mrigayu Druta
Pravepamana dharani
Prave Pamanadharani
Nisham yoda yudham chatam
Nisham Yodayudam Chatam
Gau satya padravadbita
Gau Sati Apa Dravat Vita
Mrigiva mrigayudruta
Mrigiva Mrigayu Druta
Pravepamana dharani
Prave Pamanadharani
Nisham yoda yudham chatam
Nisham Yudayudam Chatam
Gau satya padravadbita
Gausati Apadravad Vita
Mrigiva mrigayudruta.
Mrigiva Mrigayu Druta
Synonyms: pravepamana,
Prave Pamana
trembling;
Trembling
dharani,
Harani
the earth;
The earth
nishamya,
Nishamya
seeing;
Seeing
udayudham,
Udayudam
having taken his bow and arrow;
Having taken his bow and arrow
cha,
Cha
also;
also
tam,
Tam
the king;
the king
gau,
Gao
a cow;
a cow
sati,
Sati
becoming;
becoming
apadravat,
Apadrabat
began to flee;
began to flee
bhita,
Hita
very much afraid;
very much afraid
mrigi iva,
Mrigi Iva
like a deer;
like a deer
mrigayu,
Mrigayu
by a hunter;
by a hunter
druta,
Druta
being followed.
being followed.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Translation: when the earth saw that King Prithu was taking his bow and arrow to kill her, she became very much afraid and began to tremble. She then began to flee, exactly like a deer, which runs very swiftly when followed by a hunter. Being afraid of King Prithu, she took the shape of a cow and began to run. Purport. Just as a mother produces various children, both male and female, the womb of Mother Earth produces all kinds of living entities in various shapes. Thus, it is possible for Mother Earth to take on innumerable shapes. At this time, in order to avoid the wrath of King Prithu, she took the shape of a cow. Since a cow is never to be killed, Mother Earth thought it wise to take the shape of a cow in order to avoid King Prithu's arrows. King Prithu, however, could understand this fact, and therefore he did not stop chasing the cow-shaped earth. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha. Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitanscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagat Pate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Trubhyascha Kripa Sindhubi Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are continuing with Maharaj Prithu chasing Mother Earth. This seems very inconceivable pastime, so I sincerely beg the blessings of the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis for their blessings so that I may speak properly on our Gaudiya Vaishnav philosophical conclusions given by Srila Prabhupada, Vaishnavacharyas. And so Maharaj Prithu, he's very much wanting to end the suffering of the populace who have taken shelter of him. In the previous verses, talks about how he was approached by those who are experiencing famine and drought due to King Vena's, you could say, ungodly ruling of the earth. And so King Prithu, he took up his bow and arrow to kill Mother Earth, seemingly kill her. She became very much afraid and began to tremble. She took the form of a cow and began to run. So Prithu, his name is actually connected with Mother Earth. So in the Rig Veda, the first names that's used for Mother Earth is Prithvi, or Prithvi. And So Prithu, his name, which means literally broad, but he's also named Prithu because of his connection with ruling Mother Earth. And this is found in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 3, where the incarnations of Krishna are spoken about. And Prithu is known as Partavim, one who rules Mother Earth. So Prithvi, Prithu, we see how he's very much connected with Mother Earth. And he, as Samipras Prabhu talked about yesterday, how he contemplated, he's a leader, and he wanted to make the right decision. And so as a Kshatriya, he decided that he was going to use the fourth diplomatic system, which is like punishing, wanting to maybe get something done very quickly. You have to punish someone. So he's going to try to punish Earth. And Mother Earth's name in this verse is Dharani. So Dha, when you see this, how do you say it? DHA, Dha, it literally means to hold or to stand upon or make something fixed. So Dharani, the earth, everybody's standing on Mother Earth. She's upholding everything and she's very much fixed. And so in the first part of the purport, Srila Prabhupada points out how just as a mother produces various children, Mother Earth produces all kinds of living entities in various shapes. And I wanted to maybe just explore this a little bit on how Mother Earth, she has so many different names, Prithvi, Dharani, and the most commonly used Sanskrit name for Mother Earth is Bhumi. So Mother Bhumi. And the reason why she's called Bhumi is because she is actually the Bhu Shakti. Shakti means energy. So everything besides Krishna is the energy of Krishna. He has so many different energies. It's actually very difficult to go through all of the different energies of Krishna, but there are a few that we know very clearly, like the Antaranga Shakti, or the energy that is spiritual. Then we have the Bahiranga Shakti, that energy which is material. And then we ourselves are an energy of God called the Tatastha Shakti, which means that we are kind of in between the spiritual and material energy. And with the spiritual energies and the material energies, there are so many different types of different energies of the Lord. Even the Lord has an energy called Icha Shakti, which basically means the willpower of Krishna. Whenever Krishna thinks of something or has a desire, this Icha Shakti arranges everything. We have the Kriya Shakti of the Lord, which allows activities to take place in the spiritual and material world, along with the Gyan Shakti, the energy that produces intelligence. And so this Bhu Shakti, Mother Earth, she is part of creation. She has a major role in the sub-creation. So as Krishna influences Brahma, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye, he influences Brahma within the heart to create the material cosmos, the 14 planetary systems, the 3 worlds. So Bhu Shakti, Bhumi, she also plays a role in this creation. And in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Gopakumar, this great personality, he's on a journey, right? He's on a hero's journey to find his Lord. And so he is traveling throughout the entire universe, going through the 14 planetary systems. And he reaches, by the power of chanting his Gopal mantra, right? By chanting, by having such faith in his mantra, he's actually able to go all the way to the end of the universe. And Srimad Bhagavatam and Brihad Bhagavatamrita, they talk about how each universe is covered by 7 layers. What are these 7 layers? Earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. I'm sorry, 8 layers. Sorry, 8 layers. And the first layer of the material universe is earth. So the yogis, when they want to pass out of this universe, they actually dissolve all these material aspects and then are able to pierce through the universe. And so Gopakumar, by his chanting of his mantra, he's able to go into the first layer, which is earth, and he sees that the first covering I entered was that of earth. There I saw the Supreme Lord in the form of a great boar, Varahadev. So we remember how Varahadev, the incarnation of Krishna, lifts up Mother Earth when Hiranyaksha exploits Mother Earth, takes all of her gold, takes her resources. And Srila Prabhupada very much compares this to the demons now who are taking oil out of Mother Earth and exploiting her resources. And so Mother Earth, what happens is she falls into the Garbhodaka ocean, and Varahadev, Krishna, he manifests from the nostril of Brahma, and he grows into this massive form, and he's able to pick up Mother Earth on his tusk, and he picks her up and restores her. And so Mother Earth, so there I saw the Supreme Lord in the form of a great boar being worshipped by the goddess Earth. So this is Mother Bhumi, her worshipable deity is Varahadev. The deity, goddess Earth, who's the deity presiding over that covering and its wealth. She worshipped him with riches not to be obtained within the universe itself, while all the opulences of the universe whirled within every pore of his body. And then there's a very interesting verse that tasyam karana rupayam, this karana rupayam, embodies the subtle causes of creation. Karya rupam idam jagat, that which embodies the created product. So within the goddess Earth, who embodies the subtle causes of creation, I saw the creation itself with all its ingredients. This is very amazing vision that we're getting from Gopakumar. In Srila Sanatana Goswami's commentary, it says, as clay is the ingredient cause of a pot, the elements presided over by the deities of the Avaranas are the ingredient causes of the universe. Since earth is the most prominent ingredient within the material universe, the goddess Bhumi appears to be the source of all creation. So this is what Gopakumar sees in this connection with Bhu Shakti, with Mother Bhumi, and how it relates to today's purport on how from the womb of Mother Earth produces all kinds of living entities in various shapes. Thus it is possible for Mother Earth to take on innumerable shapes. So she's, what to speak of just producing all kinds of living entities. She actually is she's the presiding goddess of the prominent ingredient within the material universe, and she appears to be the source of all creation. So this is how special Bhu Shakti is. And to further try to understand Bhu Shakti, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a beautiful pastime of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who enters into Mathura, right? We hear about how Krishna so-called leaves Vrindavan, Akrura, comes with his chariot to Vrindavan, and he talks about how he was sent by Kamsa, and Kamsa wants Krishna and Balaram to come to Mathura. And there's a whole plan to get rid of Krishna and Balaram. And so when they enter into Mathura, so many things happen, right? Krishna destroys the sacrificial bow. There's a mad elephant, Kuvalaya Pita, who tries to kill Krishna, and Krishna kills this elephant. And also when he enters into Mathura, he sees a washerman who's taking care of the clothes of Kamsa, and he's very much anti-Krishna, won't even give Krishna any of the king's clothes to wear. And so Krishna sees how this person is such an intimate associate of Kamsa that he's very much a big cheater and demon, that Krishna uses his hand to cut off his head. He also sees Sudama, who was a garland maker, and how this garland maker, he offers Krishna beautiful garlands, Krishna and Balaram, beautiful garlands, and gets benedictions from Krishna. And also, he sees a personality, a young girl who's hunchbacked and crippled, and she has some ointments that are very fragrant for smearing on the body. And our acharyas, they talk about how Satyabhama, who is an expansion of Srimati Radharani, is the ultimate Bhu Shakti. And so how Mother Bhumi, Goddess Earth, and this girl who was hunchbacked and crippled, they're expansions from Satyabhama. And they represent Bhu Shakti. And so Kubja, being an expansion of Satyabhama and also being an expansion of Mother Earth, she's hunchbacked and she's crippled. And our acharyas say that Mother Earth, she oftentimes becomes burdened by the weight of army phalanxes, of sin, of how living entities are living on her and not respecting her. And what happens is she becomes overburdened and she becomes hunchbacked like this girl. And even more kind of esoteric, Kubja, this hunchbacked girl, she has this beautiful smelling ointment, which is Ganda. Ganda is the top quality of earth, fragrance, right? And so Srimati Radharani is called Gandharvika, also because Krishna, she has such a beautiful fragrance that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, desires to, when the wind brings Srimati Radharani's fragrance, he wants to jump into that wind and be immersed in the fragrance of Srimati Radharani. So Ganda, Gandharvika, this Ganda is the top quality of earth, of Bhu Shakti. And so Kubja she offers these ointments to Krishna and Balaram. And Krishna says, "Who are you?" And she says that I'm serving only by offering these ointments that are kangsas, but I want to give them to you. And Krishna, he places his foot on her toes, places his hand underneath her chin, and he straightens her up and makes her the most beautiful young woman by his touch. And so the acharyas explain how she's an expansion of Mother Earth and how Krishna comes to take the burden away from Mother Earth. And we see how Mother Earth in today's in today's verse, how she takes the shape of a cow. So we read in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, and how Mother Earth, she took the form of a cow, and Dharma took the form of a bull. And Parikshit Maharaj, through his mystic vision, could see this pastime playing out on a subtle level. It was a mystical vision that he was having of how this great bull and cow, they were being beaten by a low-class person in the wearing the dress of a king. And this was showing how Kali Yuga, where the cows are never to be killed, they're never to be harmed, they're being beaten by this low-class so-called king. And Parikshit Maharaj goes to chastise Kali personified, Kali Yuga. This is one of the signs of Kali Yuga, is that those who are in the roles of protectors, of kings, they take advantage of the innocent, especially the cows, and they harm the cows. So we see how Mother Earth, she took the form of a cow then, and was revealing how she was being harmed by this king, and how Maharaj Parikshit, being such a saintly king, couldn't even understand how this was happening. And so then in fourth canto, we see how she takes the role of a cow. And then also in the 10th canto, she takes the form of a cow. She's being overburdened. And so she takes the form of a cow and she goes to Lord Brahma. And she pleads with Brahma. And she takes the form of a cow to induce pity. And they go to the Kshuradakashai, the Kshura ocean, the ocean of milk, and they pray to Krishna to please help Mother Earth. And so in the same way, she's taking the form of a cow to invoke pity on King Prithu. And so Krishna comes to take away the burden of Mother Earth. And just like he takes away the hunchbackness of Kubja, and he wants to always reciprocate with his Bhu Shakti. And so a cow is never to be killed. It's such an important thing to understand in our philosophical conclusions of Vedic principles, that cows are always innocent. And in I wanted to read, this is from the 10th canto. So, and this is from Canto 10, Chapter 4, verse 41. The verse says, the Brahmins, the cows, Vedic knowledge, austerity, truthfulness, control of the mind and senses, faith, mercy, tolerance, and sacrifice are the different parts of the body of Lord Vishnu, and they are the paraphernalia for godly civilization. So we see in other places of Bhagavatam that this constitutes godly civilization. What does godly civilization mean? It means a civilization where everyone's trying to expand their consciousness and realize the goal of human life, which is to love God, which is to also live in accordance with God's laws. That's also a way that we show love of God, is that we follow his principles. And so the Brahmins, the cows, Vedic knowledge, all of these are part of God's body. And we see how in other parts of the Bhagavatam, how Hiranyakashipu and these demoniac forces, what do they try to establish? They try to establish an ungodly civilization. And so they attack the Brahmins, they attack the cows, they cut down trees, they try to keep people from being austere and flood them with sense gratification. Truthfulness is gone out the window. It's all about lies and money. What to speak of control of the mind and senses, faith and mercy. They try to de-establish all of this. They try to destroy these principles. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, when we offer our obeisances to the personality of Godhead, we say, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagad Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. When Krishna comes to establish real perfection in the social order, he personally gives protection to the cows and the Brahmins. This is his first interest, because without protection of the Brahmins and the cows, there can be no human civilization and no question of happy, peaceful life. Asuras, therefore, are always interested in killing the Brahmins and cows, especially in this age, Kali Yuga. Cows are being killed all over the world. And as soon as there's a movement to establish Brahminical civilization, people in general rebel. Thus, they regard the Krishna consciousness movement as a form of brainwashing. How can such envious persons be happy in their godless civilization? And in another verse where this verse is stated, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, it's stated that for the cowherd men and the cows, Krishna is the supreme friend. Therefore, he is worshipped by the prayer, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. His pastimes in Gokul, his dham, are always favorable to the Brahmins and the cows. His first business is to give all comfort to the cows and the Brahmins. In fact, comfort for the Brahmins is secondary, and comfort for the cows is his first concern. Because of his presence, all people would overcome all difficulties and always be situated in transcendental bliss. And so we recite this verse when we offer prasadam to Krishna. We talk about how he's dear to the the cows and the Brahmins. And we're living in such a civilization where people don't understand the real benefit of cows, how innocent cows are. This will be brought up in tomorrow's purport on how there are innocents who should be protected. And cows are especially, they give milk, which is such an important food substance for sacrifices, to make ghee, to make so many types of foodstuffs. And the bulls were used to cultivate the land. And so in a true human civilization, cows, bulls, actually all animals are given protection. This is one of the most intense sinful activities that one can perform, is to eat meat. You're going to kill another living entity to then taste something nice on your tongue. It's really hurtful to the heart. And I wanted to bring this up. It's very kind of sad, but it's important for us to also know that there's a website called animalclock.org. And it actually shows just within the year of 2022, right? It's how long has it been 2022 for? Weeks. In weeks, there have been 3,632,195,000, and it keeps going up. It just went to 100. Now it's at 202,000. Animals have been killed for food this year just in the United States. So annual US animal death stats are here. There's 215 million turkeys killed every year, over 8 million chickens, over 36 million cows are killed. Think about this crazy number. 43 billion shellfish are killed. Over 4 billion fish are killed every year. And this, I won't go on, but it has ducks, pigs, sheep, on and on. And for those who are interested in taking care of Bhu Shakti, of Mother Earth, it goes into the numbers of how many gallons of water used to produce 1 pound of beef, how much land is used, how much Mother Earth is being polluted by these slaughterhouses. And it's something important for us to kind of bring up to others, especially those who are environmentalists, right? We're talking about how Bhu Shakti, Mother Earth, she's giving birth to all living entities. She's an expansion from Srimati Radharani, and we want to take care of her. And there's some people who are environmentalists who eat meat. When Gori and I, we would go to Sprouts and other places. This seemed to be happening a lot more before COVID, but there are those who are trying to get signatures and trying to get people to give money for environmentalism. And Gori and I, we would ask those people, are you a vegetarian? Or do you eat meat? And they would reply, yes. And we would say, then how can you actually be an environmentalist? And this is something that's actually hidden, from in big talks of environmentalism. But I wanted to bring up one point, is that Srila Prabhupada, he talks about this meat eating. And I'm sorry to bring up such intense topics, but it's important for us to understand what's happening in the world. So in this age of Kali, the propensity for mercy is almost nil. Just seeing those numbers, it's crazy to imagine that this is happening just in the United States. Those numbers of animals being killed, it almost seems like there's no mercy. Consequently, there's always fighting and wars between men and nations. Men do not understand that because they unrestrictedly kill so many animals, they also must be slaughtered like animals in big wars. This is very much evident in the Western countries. In the West, slaughterhouses are maintained without restriction, and therefore, every 5th or 10th year, there is a big war in which countless people are slaughtered even more cruelly than the animals. You look at the news, there could be a very catastrophic war that's about to happen. And what to speak of wars that we don't know about? People dying. Sometimes during war, soldiers keep their enemies in concentration camps and kill them in very cruel ways. These are reactions brought about by unrestricted animal killing in the slaughterhouse and by hunters in the forest. Proud, demoniac persons do not know the laws of nature or the laws of God. Consequently, they unrestrictedly kill poor animals, not caring for them at all. In the Krishna consciousness movement, animal killing is completely prohibited. One is not accepted as a bona fide student in this movement unless he promises to follow the 4 regulative principles: no animal killing, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. This Krishna consciousness movement is the only means by which the sinful activities of men in this Kali Yuga can be counteracted. And in famous verse by Parikshit Maharaj, Vijay Krishna Prabhu just posted, every 40 seconds worldwide, a person kills himself. Statistics related to suicide. Such intense world that we live in. And in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.1.4, Parikshit Maharaj, she says, Navrittatasha rupagiyamanad bhavoshadach chotra manobiramad ka uttama shloka gunanavadat puman vidajeta vina pashugnat. That the real medicine for overcoming all of these sinful activities, to regain mercy, to regain understanding of ourselves, is to hear about Krishna, the glorification of Krishna that's coming from the parampara system, coming from acharya to acharya. And this glorification of Krishna, ka uttama shloka gunanuvada, beautiful shlokas that glorify Krishna, beautiful verses. It's the real medicine. So who will not hear about Krishna, this Krishna Katha? This is the movement of Krishna consciousness, is to give the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, to others, and to talk about Krishna. In this way, one will become purified. The sins of animal killing will be exterminated in such a way that one will realize what they've done and try to help others. And we see how this world, there is a lot of hope. We see how there's many more vegan restaurants. There's many more vegan products. Of course, the real aspect is prasadam, offering that to Krishna, which will then even purify more from sinful activities. But still, we see how people are slowly waking up. And this is also due to the Krishna consciousness movement. But who will not hear about Krishna? Vina Pashugnat, just as Vijay Krishna Prabhu pointed out, there are people who are killing themselves, suicides. So those who are killing others and killing themselves, they won't want to hear the glories of Krishna and be purified. So the Krishna Katha of this world, right, it's going to raise the vibrational level of this world. The more we hear about Krishna, the more we talk about Krishna, we realize who we really are and try to help others. And part of understanding who Krishna is that Krishna loves cows. We just heard how his primary concern is to give protection to cows. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear beautiful pastimes where Krishna gives full protection to the cows. And so to always want to try to end on a sweet note, there was a pastime where, sorry, let me bring something up really quick. Sorry. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So in the pastimes of Krishna and Balaram, there was a demon named Pralamba, and he took the form of a cowherd boy, and he tried to play with the cowherd boys. He was sent by Kamsa to kill Krishna, and Pralamba, he tried to take Balaram away, and we hear how Balaram just took his fist and defeated the demon. And so after this pastime, Krishna and Balaram, the cowherd boys, they were taking care of the cows. But the cows, and there was also some goats and buffalo, they wandered off searching for grass. And this was also to nourish the pastimes of Krishna. And so they wandered off. And the cowherd boys, they became very afraid. Our livelihood, they're gone, right? The whole Vraj Bhumi, the beautiful pastime places of Krishna is filled with cows. And they had unlimited cows, right? Nanda Maharaj alone had 900,000 cows. Krishna, he took care of these cows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead plays in such a way where he's protecting cows. And even so much, one time, his parents, Nanda and Yashoda, they wanted Krishna to wear shoes. Right? All the residents of Vrindavan, their main concern is that Krishna is going out to the forest and there's thorns, there's pebbles, there's stones. Krishna's feet are going to get hurt. This is sometimes their main concern is the soft butter-like feet of Krishna are going to get hurt. Krishna, please wear shoes. Krishna said, unless all of the cows wear shoes, I will also not wear shoes. So to imagine getting, right, millions and billions of shoes for all the cows, Krishna himself, unless all of them were wearing shoes, he didn't want to wear shoes. This is how much he cares about the cows. And so these cows, they've wandered off. And Krishna, he starts calling out to the cows. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives a beautiful image for us to meditate on, how dear the cows are to Krishna. Right? We have a japa mala of 108 beads, and we're chanting the holy names of Radha and Krishna on these beads. Krishna also has a string of 108 beads of 4 different colors: white, red, black, and yellow, 25 of each color. As well, there were 8 other beads to count cows of mixed color and different shaped heads. He would hold the beads in his hand and count the cows. Though the number of cows was unlimited, Krishna counted 108 different groups of cows using the beads. Krishna, we're performing japa, chanting of Krishna's names, and Krishna is chanting japa for the cows. How beautiful is that? That's so sweet. And he would call out, Dhavali, the group of cows would come. In that way, he called out for Hamsa, Ganga, Mukti, those cows who were white. Similarly, 24 other groups would come. He would call for Aruna, Kunkuma, Saraswati, who were red, Shamala, Dhumala, Yamuna, that were black, Pitta Pingala, Hari Talika, yellow, and Chitrika, Chichatalika, Dirgatalika, and Mangala Tilak, mixed. And Mridanga and Singha Mukhi, those who had Mridanga heads, and Singha Mukhi, those cows which looked like lions. And so in this way, Krishna's calling out to the cow. He's actually doing japa. And he's calling out to the cows. The cows have left, so he's calling out to the cows. And the cowherd boys, they're also bewildered. Where are the cows? Krishna loses himself in this play. Yoga Maya, she arranges Krishna to actually feel what the other residents of Vrindavan are feeling, rather than to experience moods of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so they were playing by the Bandira in Bandiravan, which is a forest in Vrindavan. Bandira is a huge banyan tree. And so they leave and they find the cows. And when they find the cows, Pralamba's friend, who he's in the form of a fire, he actually surrounds the cows, the cowherd boys, and Krishna and Balaram with fire. And this fire is coming closer and closer and closer. And the cowherd boys, they call out, Krishna, Krishna, Mahavira, great hero Krishna, please save us, please save us. And Krishna, to hide his powers, he says, okay, all of you, lay down and close your eyes. Krishna, how can we close our eyes at a time like this? Krishna very calmly said, all of you close your eyes. And some of the boys, they said, oh, you know why we have to close our eyes? Krishna, he's expert in how to extinguish fires and get rid of poison through crystals and mantras, right? So crystals actually do have power. But the coward boys, what do they point out? Crystals don't always work when there's a multitude of people around, because if there's a crystal there, it can help one person, but another person, it might actually take away the power of that crystal. So we have to close our eyes so that the powers of the crystals and the mantras will work. So they all closed their eyes. And it's stated that Krishna, by his power, he brought the fire into his hand because Krishna was thirsty, and he turned it into a cool liquid, and he drank the forest fire, and he saved the cows and the cowherd boys. And then when he had them close their eyes, he transported them all back to Bandiravan, the Bandira tree, and they were saved. So Krishna, he's calling out to the cows, and he's chanting their names, and he's protecting them. And there's another forest of Vrindavan. To end on a very sweet note, we talked about some very somber and serious things, and now to end on sweet note of Krishna Katha, there's another beautiful pastime. There's a forest of Vrindavan called Bahulavan. So we know that there's different forests in the Vraj Mandala, the circumference of the realm of Vraj, and there's forests like Bandiravan, Kokilavan, Lohavan, and so many other, Kamyavan, so many forests, and there's Bahulavan. The forest of Bahulavan is named after Bahula Devi. So just as we pointed out in the beginning of the class, this Bhu Shakti, which is non-different than Satyabhama or Lakshmi Devi and Mother Earth. In the Skanda Purana, it talks about how Bahula Devi, she is non-different than Lakshmi and Goddess Earth. She's Bhu Shakti. And what happens? She takes the form of a cow. Bahula Devi, she takes the form of a cow in Vrindavan, in a forest that will be later named Bahulavan after her, but in the realm of Vrindavan. And she's taken care of by a very saintly, pure Brahmin. And she has a beautiful calf. One day, she's drinking out of a pond. And I believe this pond is called Sankarshan Kund. And actually, there's a temple there now. So in the Sankarshan Kund, she's drinking water. And all of a sudden, a tiger pops out. This is told in the Padma Purana and Skanda Purana. Bahula Devi, she's bewildered. This tiger is standing right next to her, and he's hungry. And he wants to kill Bahula Devi. And Bahula, she pleads with the tiger that, please let me go say goodbye to my calf. Let me feed him one last time. Let me say goodbye to my master. And so the tiger, he says, how can I know that you're telling the truth? She said, please, I promise that I will come next at the sunset. And so the tiger allows her to go home, lovingly lick her calf, give the calf as much milk as the calf wants, and says, please drink up. This is the last time you'll see me. And the Brahmin master also heard about her dilemma, how Krishna arranged this whole pastime to show how great Bahula Devi is and to also teach others about self-sacrifice. So the calf and the Brahmin, they said, we're going with you. And the Brahmin said, actually, I'm going to give myself. And so they all three go back to meet the tiger. And the tiger said, "Oh, you've brought all three." And the Brahmin, he said, "No, no. You will take my life. You tigers like eating men, so please take my life and save Bahula and her child." Just see how in godly civilization, God conscious civilization, this human was going to give his life to protect a cow rather than take a cow's life. And the tiger said, "No, you're too skinny. I'm going to eat Bahula Devi, and then I'm going to eat the calf." And just at this time, Krishna came and he talked to all of them. He said, "This is Vrindavan." The tiger was immediately, by just seeing Krishna, he was filled up and he lost all hunger and he left and he was pacified and he became a great devotee. And Krishna, he was so pleased by seeing this self-sacrifice of the Brahmin, Bahula Devi, and the calf, that he said that this forest will now be named Bahulavan, to show how great Bahula Devi is. That she was going to sacrifice herself for her child and the rest of the community of Vrindavan. And to this day, there's actually a temple near Sankarshan Kund where there's the deities of Bahula, the calf, the Brahmin, and the tiger, and how they all became great devotees. And even this is why on Bahulashtami is a celebration where everyone takes a dip into Radhakund, and this is actually the glorification of Bahula Devi. So how Krishna has such intimate interactions with his Bhu Shakti, Bhu Devi, Mother Earth, right? In terms of King Prithu, how his name is with Prithvi, how Kubja, Bahula Devi, Mother Earth, they're Bhu Shakti coming from Satyabhama, and how to really spread Krishna Katha and Krishna consciousness so that we can not only save Mother Earth, but also help others realize that what they're doing for the sake of their tongue is one of the most heinous activities. It's so sinful that it causes great wars and famines and droughts. But to then show how Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, he loves the cows so much that he's actually chanting on Japamala the names of the cows, and how he reveals the greatness of Bahula Devi. So thank you for your kind attention. If there's any questions or comments on any of these points, we can take it now. Vijay Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Obeisances. Thank you very much, Prabhu. What was the name of the demon that became the fire, forest fire?
I'm not sure. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he just says that he was a friend of Pralamba.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, the name's not given.
Oh, thank you. And when Indra goes to Krishna Govinda, after the Govardhan pastime, and he brings Sarabi. Now, Sarabi is she like an expansion of Bhu Devi, or she's from a planet of cows? Or can you say something about Sarabi?
Yeah. By your blessings, I can try to say something. Yeah, our acharyas, they point out that Surabi, the great cow that comes with Indra, there's actually a planet within the material world called Goloka. And this is different from Krishna's spiritual planet. So in this planet of Goloka, there's the cows that are, you could say they're wish-fulfilling cows. So Surabi and other cows, we see how Vasishta, the great sage, one of the Saptarishis, he actually had a wish-fulfilling cow. And these cows that are from this heavenly planet, they're wish-fulfilling. So he actually loved her, took care of her, and she would produce everything that he needs. Actually, it's stated that even one time Vashishta was attacked, and from her udders, instead of milk coming out, soldiers came out, because she could manifest anything to help Vasishta. So wish-fulfilling cow, she could produce anything, just like Mother Earth could produce all living entities and protected Vasishta. So yeah, these cows are from the heavenly planets, and it is stated that they are, you could say, angsas, or expansions of the cows that are in the spiritual world. So in the we hear that there's Kamadhenu cows, wish-fulfilling cows in Goloka Vrindavan, and these are also the intimate associates of Krishna. And so yeah, Surabhi in the material world, they come from a Goloka, a material heavenly planet, where they're also Kamadhenu, they're wish-fulfilling cows. And I don't know if you've heard anything more about that, or if that's okay what I said.
Thanks so much, Prabhu. So they're not like actually expansions of Bhumi like that.
I haven't seen that there are expansions of Bhushakti. I haven't
Okay.
seen that.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Bahula Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Really appreciated all the references regarding Go Seva and Go Raksha and beautiful pastimes of Krishna's connection with the cows. And with this class of yours, it inspired me to really kind of refreshen a sankalpa of connecting with some Go Seva locally. We had Tammy and Scott so enthusiastic and committed for years. Of course, they're still committed, and we had wonderful milk coming from their cows. But yeah, I just thought for individually and then collectively as a community, we can pray to Radha Govinda that we can again come to some connection with land and cows, and even if it's not directly, that we can, as you said, just keep that in the forefront of our just like you mentioned about environmentalists. So are you vegetarian? So then even as devotees, a good question, let's say we walk by someone, with a pad signing people up for bhakti, and we can say, are you staying connected to some Go Raksha? So in whatever way, whether it's directly some land and cows, or we give some financial support to, cow protection programs, or just even in our meditation, just as you did so beautifully, just remembering Krishna and his relationship with the cows. So yeah, thank you for that beautiful elaboration and all the references.
Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. And in the chat, Vijay Krishna Prabhu has a question. Is it that lack of enough intelligence is what causes suicide? To answer that,
Balgopal Das Prabhu,
Hare
you didn't read it completely. My question is related to stupidity,
Mhm.
which is the same as lack of enough intelligence.
Yeah.
Is it that it is what causes suicide, stupidity?
I am unable to speak on that because I'm not a psychologist. I know Samya Pras Prabhu has studied psychology, and Vrinda Sundari are capable of probably going into that a little deeper. Rinda said, I would say no. It seems that there's a lot there that can be spoken of from a psychological perspective. And in Shastra, I'm not sure what is it, in terms of spiritual suicide, more of that is spoken about. But I kind of refrain from going into that topic too much because I've not studied psychology that much.
Yes, Prabhu, but is on the chat, is Denver for everyone is saying, I would say no. Who is giving this answer?
That's Vrinda Sundari.
Yes, and Mother Vrinda, can you substantiate your answer to my question, please?
So oftentimes it's due to a mental illness or depression. And so as Vaishnavas or practitioners of Bhakti, we like to be compassionate. So I wouldn't call anyone stupid or less intelligent for taking their own life. I would say that it's more coming from pain and wanting to their pain.
And from pain caused by like a mental disease?
Oftentimes it's from that. Sometimes it's just from being so burdened by this pain and suffering of the material energy.
Yes, difficult to overcome.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I mean, I would say, yeah, it's just a very difficult reality to live in the material existence.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bal Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hi, Bal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, the question might be raised like, if Krishna is so fond of the cows, why he's allowing this wholesale, not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of God? Why is he allowing so many cows, specifically of all animals, to be targeted and killed so ruthlessly now?
Yeah, it's a deep question. And Bhishma, in his prayers to Krishna, he talks about how it's very difficult to understand the plan of God, that even great sages, great personalities, they try to understand the will and the plan of God, and they get lost in so many ways trying to understand. But one aspect of it is that there is a certain amount of karma that is being played out in the material realm. So in the Vedas, it's actually stated that when you go to eat an animal or kill an animal to eat them, that the Vedic process is actually to whisper into their ear that in the next life, you will be able to eat me. And so in some BBT books that we have, we see this painting of the butcher with the cow head and the cow with the animal head, and how this cycle of karma is that those who are eating meat, and this is shown in the pastime of Mrigari the hunter, Narada Muni shows that because Mrigari the hunter, he's half killed and eaten so many animals that all of those animals are waiting to harm him and get revenge on a karmic level. What to speak of also Prachini Biharishat and others in the Vedas, they're actually shown this vision that if you cause suffering to another living entity, that living entity will cause you suffering in your next life. And so in this material realm, because it's also under the laws of karma, the cycle of karma is going on, that, people are eating meat, and then those living entities in their next life, they're also going to be harmed. So yeah, the cycle of karma can be bewildering, and how many living entities are caught up in the cycle of karma. So that's one explanation.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so we'll end here. It's getting a little late. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Vanchakalpa
Jai.
Yascha Kripa Sindhuvya.
Kripa Sindhuvya.
Patitanam Pavan.
Patitana Pavanebhyo. Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.